Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Briareos Kerensky here to review Otaroniki, Nipponichi's latest effort for the PlayStation Vita. I'll try to keep this review as short as possible, as the more I show, the more I will spoil. Otaroniki is a puzzle game, and the simplest way to describe it would be to call it as a Japanese version of Limbo, as the two games share many strong and weak points. In Otaroniki you play as a green fairy, guiding a hornet girl from the bottom of what looks like a collapsed building to... and again, I won't spoil much. The girl is hunted by mysterious shadows, and the game slowly unfolds its story as you make progress. Aside from few lines detailing the controls, you're left to your own devices, with no explanatory dialogue or cutscenes. Only you, the girl, and a menacing environment where every sound reverberates as a hollow echo. The presentation in this game is absolutely perfect. Graphics are detailed but never overloaded, everything fits perfectly together, and with the audio the atmosphere is incredibly oppressive and eerie. The girl is animated with just a handful of frames for every action, and along with their design, this creates a sharp contrast between her cuteness and the world of dangers she has to cross. The little protagonist is very fragile, and she'll suffer a painful death from excessive heights and almost everything else in the world. She also moves very slowly, but thankfully the game is perfectly aware of this, giving plenty of time to complete puzzles, even during the most intense moments. You have the usual assortment of pressure pads, switches, conveyor belts, moving platforms and time gates to interact with, either in physical or spiritual form, for the lack of better words. Early in the game, the girl acquires a purple sprite, able to move along shadows to interact with distant objects. Most puzzles will see you coordinating efforts on two different planes to see the girl to safety. Otaroniki's first and biggest problem is that puzzles aren't exactly hard to figure out, and you'll spend more time applying the solution rather than getting it. This goes along the game's second problem, the hardware feature syndrome, a syndrome that forces developers to include a platform's hardware features even if those serve no real purpose or come across as detrimental to the game. Control is entirely via the Vita's two touch surfaces. The front screen controls the green fairy, while the rear controls the purple sprite. Front screen controls are good, as the developers took in account the lag that occurs with this kind of interface, but sometimes they still require a level of accuracy and speed that makes some puzzles frustrating. The rear controls are unfortunately not as precise as their frontal counterpart, and guiding a purple dot across shadows with your finger without having a visual reference on where your finger is awkward. Also, having your finger constantly across the screen might hide something noteworthy, and first model Vitas aren't exactly comfortable to hold with one hand, especially when you have to juggle controls between front and rear of the console. With a Vita TV, you need to constantly press the analog sticks to have the correct cursor appear, and this can lead to unwanted deaths. If using a DualShock 4, the touch surface only allows for front screen emulation, and it's not precise enough to solve the more advanced puzzles. Luckily enough, controls are not completely bad, but the game would have been more enjoyable without this over-reliance on touch controls. The game is not particularly long, though some secrets are hidden behind some tricky puzzles. Again, the solution to these puzzles is very clear, but having the girl reach it unscanted is the real problem. certain segments or after discovering a secret area, you'll be brought to a special part of the game where you have to complete very simple fetch quests. These segments are very important to the story, with these two game parts tightly interconnected. Do I recommend Otaroniki? As a puzzle game, no, way too easy. However, the presentation and how the story is told are something you'll want to experience firsthand. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you'll stick around for more. Briareos Kerensky, over and out.